So you know that part of you that tells yourself you're right? F that voice. You know that part of you that wonders if you're wrong, or tells yourself you're wrong, or projects at other people that they're wrong or beneath you, or even that they're above you or better than you or know something that you don't? F that voice too. It's the same voice, actually. It's the voice of something that doesn't even belong to you. I can't even stand here and tell you that that voice is some part of you. It's not. That voice is not part of you at all. I wonder if you'll notice something that I noticed. The more you try to control your thoughts, the more out of control your thoughts and life become. You know, freedom from this hamster wheel rat race of convincing yourself you're moving towards something when really what you're doing is running from something. You know, there's a freedom from this, and it comes from stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to focus and make everything happen a specific way that you want it to. So here's what so many people are doing. They're watching the sky, their lives, and they see clouds go by, and they see clouds they don't like, and they reject them. They say, I don't want that cloud to be part of my life. And then they see a cloud that they do like, and they say, I want that cloud. I want it to stay. And they frantically stare at it, and they focus, and they're trying to stay with it. It'll never work because it's all passing by. There will be days where you do not enjoy the contents of your own mind or emotions. There will be days where you don't feel good, where the thoughts in your head are just annoying, toxic. And there will be days where you're so high in absolute ecstasy within yourself, and your thoughts are vibrating in this very high way, and you're thinking all of these blissful things and just feeling love for everybody. Here's the human problem. We try to cling to these states. We try to hold on. We want that cloud to last, but it won't. Nothing ever will. And this is a simple explanation, in my personal opinion, of where all suffering comes from in our lives. It comes from us constantly saying in our heads what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad. I don't want that cloud. I do want this one. See, here's what the freedom really is about. Let the sky be what it is. The clouds that are there are there. And a lot of people want to convince themselves and sell this idea to you because it's a sexy idea and you'll likely buy what they're selling. You'll listen to what they have to say because they sell you an idea to your ego that you can control your life. And if you just knew what they knew, then you could do it. So here, buy my program. Interesting sales pitch, huh? And the part of you that's desperately afraid that your life won't amount to something, that you'll be worthless, or that you'll live in poverty, or that people won't know your name, or that your life will have been nothing at the end of it. Your desperation and your fear of all of these things drives you to continue consuming information and ideas where you're essentially trying to brainwash yourself into believing that you can control the clouds in the sky. Do you know how much energy and precious time you have right now in this moment that you could be enjoying your life? You know how much energy you're wasting trying to control the sky? You're wasting your energy. Sometimes things will go your way and you'll go, oh, see, I did it. I created my reality. Other times things won't go your way and you'll be confused and hurt and wonder what's wrong with you. Oh, I just need to raise my vibration. I just need to change the way that I feel. Here's my expression to you, because I'm not going to waste my time telling you those ideas are wrong. Because anybody that wastes their time talking about what's wrong or right, or what's higher or lower, or more truthful and more false, they're wasting their precious moment to enjoy their life too. They're just as caught up in the suffering as anybody else is. All I want to ask you to consider is, what could life be like if instead of you wasting all your precious time here on Earth debating about what clouds you like and what clouds you don't, what if you just let the sky be what it was? What if right now in this moment you just let everything be what it is, including yourself? What if you just let yourself be who you are? What if you stop trying to change yourself? What if you stop trying to run from who you are? What if you acknowledged certain things and really brought it to the surface of your consciousness and realized that while you may convince yourself, this is something I see a lot of people do, and I'm raising my hand because I've been there myself, I recently realized it. That's kind of the theme of where these videos have been coming from lately. Convincing yourself that your life and your purpose is helping others and, wanting to make a difference. I had thoroughly convinced myself of that, but in disguise, it was really just the fear of being insignificant, of not mattering. And if helping people is your life purpose, which is what I had brainwashed myself, then that means that your life purpose is always dependent on other people being worse off than you. But when you really look at this moment and you see nobody's worse off, nobody's better, nobody's lesser. I'm not better than you, you're not better than me. Whether you're a janitor and I have thousands of people listen to what I have to say, it doesn't mean anything. The ego can say, oh, I'm more important. It's bullshit. What is important, that's up to you. But when I'm honest with myself and I genuinely consider all the things I've ever labeled as important, when you really look at it, they've always been manifestations of my fear. Anytime I've ever thought I was moving towards something, what was really happening is I was running from something. But there's a life free of this nonstop hamster wheel running that gets you nowhere. And I've discovered a vibrational secret too, that you cannot achieve wealth while you are afraid of poverty. You cannot achieve a life of significance while you are afraid of being insignificant. Because while you're running toward things, you have yourself anchored to that other vibrational reality. But even what I'm saying now, if part of you gets excited and realizes, oh, what Nathan's sharing with me is a secret that I can finally achieve that wealth and importance in my life, your ego's just picked up something and run with it. Because there's a part of us that desperately clings to the idea that things in our life are going to change. I think the real question is, why do we need them to change? What is it that we are afraid of about ourselves, about this moment? What is so wrong with us that we feel the need to make it right? This high vibrational space I'm talking about that's right here, that's freedom from all that stuff, it comes in a very simple way that I hope the analogy I've made makes sense. Stop wasting your time trying to assert what clouds should be in the sky and what shouldn't. They're always going to be passing by. There's going to be days where you have incredible emotions and days where you have lower emotions. Your attachment and labeling them as good or bad, or I want this and I don't want this, is where all of the pain and powerlessness in your life you experience is really coming from. That's the true source of it. But here's the thing. People don't like talking about that because it's not an idea you can sell. People want to buy the idea that if I read this book or take this class or watch all of this person's videos, then my life is finally going to amount to something. I'll finally have what it is that I was missing. Everything is going to make sense. But that's the funny thing, is the part of us that's trying to make everything make sense, that's trying to understand all of it, that's labeling things as good or bad, that thinks there's something wrong with us that needs to be fixed, that thinks that we need to have all these healing ceremonies because something within us is broken. It's just ridiculous. You're not broken. There's nothing that needs to be healed about you. You're not missing anything. You're never going to get anything from me or anybody else that you do not already have access to within yourself. It's just this simple. The only place that we can really realize true power, true freedom, true connection to the infinite, okay, because a lot of people think they're connected to God. They're connected to the infinite source, higher self, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. A lot of people think they're connected to God, but really, they're just addicted to a belief and story they tell themselves in their head. They're connected to an idea of God. But you can't make sense of what God is, and you'll waste your time trying. Infinite. Infinite. That means you cannot contemplate it. You cannot perceive it. So here's what ends up happening. There's an old parable about, it's a pretty wise parable, 3 blind men who go and feel up an elephant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not like in a sensual, sexy way. Maybe one of them did, I don't know. But they feel the elephant and each one feels a different part. One of them feels the trunk, one of them feels the leg, right? Another one feels the side of the skin. And again, they're blind, so they can't see the elephant. The one that feels the trunk says, this is a snake, right? The one that feels the leg says, this is a tree. So this is essentially what's happening. Even right now, I am like a blind man feeling up an elephant, being metaphor for God, the universe. And I can express to you, this is the truth, because I've seen it and I've felt it. But I've only seen and felt one part of the universe. That's my part. That's my reality. And you're feeling yours, and other people are feeling theirs. So it does not make sense to buy anybody's idea or buy what anybody's projecting that they've got it all figured out and are fully enlightened to the whole picture of what's going on. And so, you know, listen to what I have to say. It just doesn't make sense. We don't know. None of us do. What if the true power comes to us in our lives when we stop trying to know and understand everything and be the almighty enlightened one, and we just be here now in this moment and we experience our lives for what they are? You know what? We live in a world where, to be honest, sometimes there's pain, sometimes there is shit I do not want to deal with, but it's in my face, and so I deal with it. It does not make sense to live our lives trying to run or accumulate such a mass amount of wealth that we can build a huge wall around a castle so we never have to deal with anybody or anything else, right? This is where a lot of people in the world get peace, from blocking out the world. But I've got news for you, that's not actual peace. That's just a wall you're hiding behind. Your peace is really just your fear, and you're tricking yourself. There is a way to every step you take in your life, be absolutely present, absolutely open and vulnerable. Vulnerable. That is real strength. Strength is not wearing a suit of armor and shield and holding back things in life that make you uncomfortable. Strength is moving towards whatever it is that comes at you with an open heart, being willing to experience it. Is it sometimes painful? Yes. I'll tell you this, I've been meeting a lot of people lately here. I've been feeling more social. It's just a summer vibe. And I met some people that happen to have seen my videos before, which is pretty cool to meet someone when they've seen your videos. If you could imagine, it's kind of exciting for me, to be honest. And one of them asked me, how do you have so much light? You're just like a being of such pure light. And I smiled and I was like, there is an immense amount of darkness in me. You feel fullness off of me, I promise you there is an equivalent amount of emptiness. Now you might not see it, but the people who have the most light have the most darkness. The people with the most fullness have the most emptiness. Our universe is this very mysterious place, and what I'm trying to say is that the strength I have comes from the uncomfortable experiences I'm willing to face in my life. I'm not better than you, and I'm not worse than you. And that voice in our head that tells us this is right and this is wrong, and here's the idea that's finally going to liberate with me, is nonsense. Because what do you need to be liberated from? You're here, you're alive. You've won the jackpot of the universe. You're alive, you're here, you're able to perceive and experience any of this. So how about you stop wasting your time? 99% of people's day, this is what they do. I see them. Okay, no judgment, because I've been there before. They're like, I like this cloud, I don't like this cloud. You shouldn't do this, you should do that, right? This is good, this is bad. It's like, man, you are missing this beautiful gift that is right here. Not even enjoying your life because you're too busy labeling clouds as good and bad. And the joke is that they pass by. You spend your whole day saying, this is the cloud. You wake up the next day, the cloud's gone. And then you're panicking and you're freaking out and you're wondering, what's wrong with me? What do I need to do to get that cloud back? There's nothing you can do. But you can be present, be here now in this moment, and appreciate all the clouds as they come through. Nothing lasts forever, and neither will this life you're living. I don't mean to scare you with that. I mean to inspire you with that. Your life is a profound gift. I hope that this video has helped you to claim that gift for yourself and decide to be one of the courageous few, one of these courageous few willing to not live their whole life in their head and are willing to live it here and really be here and live it. You know, there's a great power and vibrational space that is held by people who are really here in this moment. And I know that you are one of these people, and I'm very grateful to meet you. And if you happen to know somebody that would benefit from the message of this video, not because you're judging them, because you're like, they need to know this, but because you recognize that there's a specialness in them, that they would get a great reflection in this video because of how awesome they are, send this video their way. Thanks. Much love to you, and I hope to see you in the next Vibes and Frequencies video. See you soon. Things in reality are shifting, and your consciousness is expanding. And enlightenment is a very, very real process, which I know that if you're seeing this video, you are going through this process right now in your life. This time is one that many, feeling these expanded vibrations, these expanding energies and things changing around them, many people will feel fear, anxiety, some stresses, some confusion, feeling as though everything is falling apart. Many people may turn away from these feelings to try to protect themselves, to try to go back to what it is that they believe they know to be true. But what is true and what you know about truth is changing and expanding.